What's up, y'all? It's Cosmic Cage back again with another episode. And today I wanted to do something a little different than what I've done before. We're gonna be reacting to a video that was posted on the internet. And this is something I wanna do a little bit more of going forward. There's so much things that go on in society in modern times that I think it makes more sense to talk about it as it's happening, so we can learn how to adapt and how we could learn from these experiences and grow together as a community. Not all roses and rainbows and butterflies, but you can make something out of it. Part of making something out of it is just knowing what game you're playing. If you go out there with football rules playing basketball, you're not gonna be successful no matter what type of athlete. So understanding what are the games to life? What are the games to dating? What's the games to careers and jobs and all these different aspects on life is going to be a key thing for you to understand and develop as a human being, as you'll see the things that you need to work on and some of the things that you bring to value into the world. So enough of that. We're gonna go over a video today. We're gonna be reacting on it. We'll let the video play and then I'll go through some of my reactions to it.
Wait to sleep with a man, because if you give yourself too soon, then you which is all bullshit. If you want to first date, second date, third date, it doesn't matter how long you're wait, okay? So I tried the whole, I'm gonna hold it out, I'm not gonna do it, I'm gonna wait 6 months.
Wait, 6 months? For sex?
Yes.
I thought you were going somewhere else with it.
It was like my guards was up. It was like, nah, you ain't moving how I want you to move. I don't see you soon. Like, we can date without having sex. Like, that's what date's supposed to be. And I done had sex with this man. 1, it was whack after 6 months. 2, he still played me on top of it. What is the point?
This has always been a constant talk of conversation. The first thing that you have to understand about us as men is that we are results-driven people. If a man wants to get something, he will do the things he needs to do to get to it. We always talk about this in a very supply and demand-based market. Men control relationships, women control sex. Generally, it's the job of the man to attract the woman, and it's the job of the woman to keep the man. That's generally how the puzzle generally works, because a lot of men are generally going to try to sleep with as many women as they can. And generally, women are trying to limit the amount of men they sleep and trying to settle with the men that they are sleeping with. Now, it's obviously there's case by case where this is different, but most women that are having sex with a guy over a course of a period of time, they generally want to be with that guy. That guy probably generally doesn't want to be with her, and that's why it's going on for a long period of time. Now, this isn't the case in all situations, but this is the case in a lot of situations. Going off this video here, you heard her mention it here. She had somebody waiting for 6 months for sex, and the guy still played her. So that's why I always talk about us as men are results-driven people. So if a man really wants to, right? And there's a couple scenarios where he will be comfortable doing this. Let's say he already getting a lot of play from different women. He doesn't have to worry about sex from you because he's getting it from other people. So he got some time to waste. Maybe he got some money and he's dating multiple women at once. Maybe he got a girl, maybe he got a wife. Whoever knows what the reason is, grew up not getting a lot of love, and now he's trying to pay back all the pretty women. I don't know. It's always different reasons. But one thing I could always tell you for sure, if a man wants a result, he's going to give his all to get it. Whether if he's a lame dude, a cool dude, a hood guy, a nerd, if he really wants to put that work in to be deceitful, to show you what you need to see in order for him to get them draws, then he could possibly do that. If you're not seeing someone's character like that, you holding off for the sex and waiting for months to have the sex and the guy still play you, well, this was already set in stone from the first date with this guy. So nothing that you were doing as a woman was gonna ever change that. Yeah, you might limit some of them, right? You might limit some of them because they're like, yo, I'm not about to play this game for 6 months. But at the end of the day, if you're doing this kind of criteria, generally, like she said herself, she was having some issues in the past. I recently dealt with someone like this where I was dating them. We went to the second date. After the second date, we spent a lot of time with each other. After the food spot, he's like, yo, you trying to go back to my crib? And she was like, hell yeah. She was like, yo, I live right around the corner. She still lives with her family, so obviously we're not going to do that. I do not. So that's another conversation for another day, but we're gonna leave that alone. She was like, let me take my makeup off, let me shower, let me switch into something more comfortable. You'd be like, oh shit, what? hell yeah, now we about to be on. She not playing games, she trying to get cozy. Mind you, this is at like midnight, so I gotta put things into context. So by the time we get back to my place, it's like 1 a.m. I mean, you going back to any guy's place at 1 a.m., I don't know what you expect to happen. Long story short, she was like very indecisive. And for me, obviously as a man, you know, indecision from a woman during sex is not a very good sight. I just don't want to put myself in that situation. So I saw the indecision in, you know, her tone and all the stuff she was doing. So we kind of backed off and stopped. The next day I get this long essay about how she was basically abstinent. That's no problem. Like, I have no problem with you being abstinent. Like, that's not nothing to me, but there was a couple things because I set my boundaries and I set my standards and I have my expectations of people I date. Why did you wait until you're in my bed and we're going like pretty far to, you know, think about having this conversation the next day? You know, especially when you're coming over to somebody's crib at 1 p.m. at night. So like the message from there was a little confusing to begin with. 2, that's cool that you're abstinent, but you know, for me, like, I need sex in my dating experience. I'm not about to be like this woman who just stated she waited 6 months for whack sex. You gotta understand the dating phase is the trial period. You're showing each other, like, this is what the experience is gonna be like when you're dating me. You don't start off an experience and hold stuff off and then say, well, if you get in a relationship, I'll start doing these things. I hear that so often and it's just so weird, you know what I mean? Because like for me as a man, I'm expected to provide from the first date to the end of our relationship, whether that's in death or a breakup. So like that never changes for me. I have to do that from the beginning, first and foremost. And I have something with that word provider I'm gonna do another video on, but it's something that's expected for me. So if I'm expected to show my all to win your trust, to get in between your legs, I think you shouldn't be holding stuff back and saying, well, if we get into a relationship, then you'll see some of these things. Because then we get into a relationship, we might not like it, and then we're like, damn, we could have found this out 2-3 months into our dating experience so we couldn't waste each other's time. So it just comes back to this whole waiting experience and trying to give people things and holding things back. And that's what this same young lady that I was dating was doing. She had some bad sexual experiences and people like basically just was sex driven. So now she's like, oh, I'm gonna stay away from it. The worst part of this is she works in mental health. So I would think that she would have worked out some of these issues, you know, either with a therapist or, you know, really reflect on like some of the decisions, like some of the opportunities of the people you had given sex to. Maybe some of your decision making probably could have been better. Maybe there was an issue where you were giving it up to the wrong men too early. That's something different. But, you know, I'm not paying for other men's mistakes. I always say that, like, guys, never be comfortable paying for other men's mistakes. That has nothing to do with you. If you're giving that person an enjoyable dating experience, you have no guilt or at fault for any situation that happened with somebody else's past and experiences. You have your trauma, they have their trauma. Our job is to come into it trauma-free. Now, what I mean trauma-free is like you're gonna have all the thoughts in your head. You shouldn't display it while you're dating. And that's a very toxic way, and you see it with a lot of people based off the way they talk, the way they... Nowadays, dating is crazy. Sit there, and it's like the first, second date, and it's just like, you know how y'all men are, and y'all, and you this type, and it's just like, it's so frustrating to like hear these stuff. I am not no type. I am not this person. I'm not this dude from your past. Like, you've had nothing but good experiences about me, but yet you still find a way to bring negativity from your past into this date. I don't understand. You've yet to hear me one time, and that's one thing I always tell guys: do not bring up past women unless it's a relevant conversation where they're relating to something and it's like, okay, this experience makes sense to have this conversation. But you should never willingly just bring up past women when you're in front of another one. When you're dating, that focus should be on the other person. And this is for men and women. The focus shouldn't be on this, that, over here, and over there. we spend so much time worrying about our past and worrying about our future. Nobody's ever living in the present. From the time you're a child, what's some of the first things you think about? What am I gonna do when I grow up? What I'm gonna be when I grow up? I'm in school from the time I'm a kid thinking about like my career, my life, for most of my life. So most of my life I'm thinking about my future. Then when you get as an adult and you start dating, now it's all you're thinking about your past. And it just becomes like an experience where it's like no one is actually sitting right in front of me when I'm dating them. Everyone is like either looking over to the future or just stuck in the past. No one's actually present right in front of me. And that's like one of the annoying things with dating in today's age, but it's as to be expected in where we are in today's society. Come on, Raphael. Don't do that to me right now. I'm literally doing a video, bro. I have a pet tortoise. He likes to hop in and make guest appearance every once in a blue. As I say it again, he starts moving and making an appearance. Anyway, so that's my biggest thing when it comes to that. Like, you really want to be really, really smart about like being in the present. You don't want to be so focused on everything. If you find yourself subconsciously doing it over and over, then you definitely need to get some help. You definitely need to work on your mental makeup. You definitely need to figure out what are some of the good things and hobbies that you do to take your mind off of this. You need to be at more peace, and you have to have more fun with life to ease a lot of that burden and that negativity in your life. Definitely, like I said, I had put my foot down with this young lady about, like we could be friends, but I cannot date someone without sex. And straight up, like, I'm not doing it. From our first date, we had this conversation, and I was like, what are some toxic traits that you usually are attracted to? Couldn't really think about it off the top. I don't know if some women think I'm asking this because I want to be toxic at that trait, but for me, it's you realizing like, hey, I made a mistake and I've messed up and I've dated these type of men, and I've worked on it, and it's something that I've known, and it's something that I've been focusing on improving. It's not have nothing to do with me being toxic. It has more for you trying to see if you're learning from your past or if you're just repeating the process. Because straight up, like, most women look at me and they think I'm toxic. Light-skinned dude, beard, tattoos, muscles, personal trainer, wears like chains and accessories, all this stuff, earrings. Oh, he's definitely trouble. Especially when I had that little nose ring, it was like, oh yeah, he's definitely trouble. But that has nothing to do with me. That just has to do with the type of people you ended up messing with in your past. The same reason that you messed with these people in the past is the same reason you find me attractive. So there is some good in the look that you see. It's just that you have to ward out the personality traits that you don't like in the person, and not necessarily the person aesthetic itself. And after that, she kind of like realized when we had a conversation, yeah, it's been some of the toxic traits and toxic people I've been talking to that led me to be in this position of not being comfortable. And once we got past that, she switched and said, yeah, no, I'm open to sex now all of a sudden. And it's not me trying to push women into sex. It's just me saying like, I'm not okay with doing these things. Just like you're not okay with these things, I'm not okay with these things. And this goes back to this first original video that we're talking about. Waiting does not solve anything for sex. Legit. Like I stated before, if it's bad, now you're upset that you wasted this much time. The other thing is, if you think it's really going to determine like someone's character, it's not. If he's having fun and enjoying your company, then the sex is not really going to be pressed. If he just looks at you and is like, you're cute, but you're mad and annoying, then the only thing on his head is like, man, the sex has to be great. And in fact, I've spoken to a lot of men, and most of their girlfriends and wives, they had sex with pretty early in the process. First date, second date, maybe even third date, they had sex really early in the process because it was a chemistry thing. They organically was having fun, and it led organically to that experience. It has nothing with putting clocks on stuff. I said that in another video about dating. If you have to put numerical and such strategic things into your dating experience, but you want the most natural, organic outcomes, that's not necessarily how it's going to work out for you, because you're not finding people that you're attracted to. You're finding people that calculated into your experiments. Again, I just wanted to make that quick video on a video we just watched. I'm gonna be doing more of these, so hopefully that we can start learning a lot more different things and situations, and this would also spark different conversations. Again, my name is Cosmic Cage, aka KG. Like, comment, subscribe. Hope you're crushing it today. Hope to see you soon. Cosmic Cage out.